I stood at the back of that church. White flowers everywhere, 200 guests in their Sunday best. My sister at the altar, in a dress that looked almost like mine. And the groom? The man I'd been married to for 6 years. The man who used to whisper forever against my neck. He was standing there, smiling, like I never existed. My mother had begged me not to come. My father said showing up would tear this family apart. My aunts called me bitter, jealous, unstable, but I walked in anyway. Heels clicking against marble, smile painted on like armor, and a secret in my purse that would burn their fairy tale to the ground. This is the story of how my sister stole my husband, and how I exposed their lie at her wedding. Before I tell you what happened at that altar, I need you to understand something. I loved my sister. Not the complicated kind of love where you tolerate each other. Real love. The kind where you share beds during thunderstorms. The kind where you hold her hair back when she's sick. The kind where you believe, truly believe, that she would never hurt you. That kind of love is rare. And when it breaks, it doesn't just hurt. It rewires who you are. Let me take you back. 3 years ago, my life looked perfect from the outside. I was 31, married to Daniel for 6 years. We had a little townhouse with a blue door, a dog named Biscuit. Date nights on Fridays. We weren't rich, but we were building something. Or so I thought. My sister Emma was 28, the baby of the family, the one everyone protected, the one who got away with everything because she had this way of making you feel sorry for her. Even when she was wrong, she moved back to our city after a bad breakup. And because I loved her, I opened my door. Stay with us until you get back on your feet, I said. 3 months. That's what we agreed. 3 months turned into 5. 5 turned into 8. And somewhere in those months, something shifted. I didn't see it at first. I was too busy working overtime. Too busy being the responsible one. Too busy trusting the 2 people I loved most. I came home early one Thursday. A headache. That's all it was. Just a headache that sent me home 2 hours before I was supposed to. I unlocked the front door. Called out. No answer. Walked upstairs, and then I heard it. Laughter. Her laughter. Coming from my bedroom. I pushed open the door, and my entire world cracked in half. There they were. My husband and my sister. In my bed. In my sheets. Under the wedding quilt my grandmother made us. Emma screamed. Daniel jumped up, stammering. It's not what you think. But it was exactly what I thought. It was exactly what it looked like. And deep down, maybe I'd already known. I just didn't want to believe it. They begged. Both of them. It was a mistake. It only happened once. We were drinking. We never meant to hurt you. But here's the thing about betrayal. It's never just one moment. It's hundreds of small choices. The secret glances. The locked phones. The inside jokes I wasn't part of. It wasn't a mistake. It was a decision. Made over and over again. I moved out that same night. Stayed at a motel with nothing but a suitcase and a broken heart. Filed for divorce 2 weeks later. And for a while, I thought that was the end of it. I thought I could grieve and move on. But then came the announcement. 4 months after our divorce was finalized, my mother called me. Her voice was strange. Careful. I need to tell you something, sweetheart. Emma and Daniel were engaged. 4 months. That's all it took for them to rewrite the story. To turn my betrayal into their love story. And here's the part that really broke me. My whole family was going to the wedding. My parents, my aunts and uncles, my cousins, everyone. They said it was time to heal. They said holding on to anger would only hurt me. They said I needed to be the bigger person. And when I refused to smile and pretend, they called me the problem. My mother came to my apartment. She sat on my couch, wringing her hands. I know this is hard for you, she said. But Emma is still your sister. She's marrying my ex-husband, Mom. He wasn't right for you anyway. Maybe this was meant to be. Like my 6 years of marriage were just a placeholder. Like my heartbreak was just a stepping stone to their happiness. I asked her to leave. And she did. But not before saying, if you do anything to ruin that wedding, you'll lose this family forever. I sat in the dark for a long time after she left. And I realized something. I had already lost them. The moment they chose her over me, the family I thought I had was already gone. Weeks passed. I wasn't planning anything. I was just trying to survive. Then one night I got a call from Daniel's cousin, Marcus. He had always been decent. He said, "There's something you should know." What he told me changed everything. Emma was pregnant. 14 weeks along? Do the math. She was already pregnant when Daniel and I were still married. They hadn't just cheated once. They'd been together for months, maybe longer, and now they were rushing to the altar. Not because of love, because of timing, because they needed the wedding photos before the belly showed. That's when I made my decision. They wanted me to stay silent, to disappear, to let them build their fairy tale on the ashes of my life. But I was done being the quiet one. I didn't tell anyone what I was planning. I bought a new dress. Black. Elegant. Not mourning. Power. I got my hair done. My nails. I looked better than I had in years. And in my purse I carried everything I needed. Printed text messages between Emma and Daniel. Dates. Timestamps. Messages from while we were still married. Love notes. Plans. Proof. I also brought one final thing. An ultrasound photo, the one Emma had accidentally left at my parents' house, with the date circled in red. The church was beautiful. I'll give them that. Roses and white ribbons, sunlight streaming through stained glass. I walked in during the vows. Every head turned. My mother's face went pale. Emma froze mid-sentence. Daniel's jaw dropped. But I didn't stop. I walked straight down that aisle, calm, steady, and when I reached the front, I smiled. "Sorry to interrupt," I said, "but before you say I do, I think everyone deserves the truth." I turned to face the guests, and I told them everything. About the affair, about the timeline, about the pregnancy. I showed them the messages. Read them out loud. Dates when I was still wearing my wedding ring. When Daniel was still telling me he loved me. I held up the ultrasound. Pointed at the date. She was already pregnant. While I was still his wife, the room erupted. Gasps. Whispers. One of Daniel's aunts started crying. Emma tried to speak, but her voice cracked. Daniel looked like he wanted to disappear. And my mother? She just stared at me. Like I was a stranger. Maybe I was now. I didn't stay for the chaos. I walked out the same way I walked in. Head high, heels clicking. The wedding didn't continue. I heard later that guests left in waves, that Emma locked herself in the bridal suite and sobbed, that Daniel's family confronted him in the parking lot. They still got married eventually. A courthouse ceremony, no guests, no photos, just paperwork. As for my family, some of them cut me off. My parents refused to speak to me for months. But others, aunts, cousins who had stayed quiet, reached out. "We didn't know," they said. "We're sorry." And slowly, I started to rebuild. People ask me if I regret what I did, if it was worth it. Here's my answer. I don't regret speaking the truth. I regret ever being told that my silence was the price of belonging. I regret being raised to believe that keeping the peace was more important than being respected. Some families protect you, and some families protect your abuser. When you learn which one you have to decide who you want to become. I chose myself, and I would do it again. If this story moved you, if you've ever been told to stay quiet for someone else's comfort, I want you to hit subscribe, not just for me, but because your story matters too, and maybe next time, you'll choose yourself.